Today we're going to be looking at graphing in both vertex and factored form. The first form we're going to be looking at is vertex form. So vertex form is y or f of x equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. And the reason why it's called vertex form is because it gets you the vertex. So unlike standard form, when we had to use x equals negative b over 2a to find the vertex, this form automatically gives you the vertex, okay? So the nice thing about that is you don't have to really do much work. However, there's a specific way that you have to find the vertex, so you must be careful. In order to find the vertex from the form, you have to remember that it's the opposite of whatever the h value is, and then you keep the k. So in words, opposite h, keep k. So in this case, the vertex, it says -3, -4. So we're going to do the opposite of the h. So if it's -3, it's going to be +3. And we're going to keep the k. It's -4, so it's -4. So that means when we go to graph and make our table, 3, -4 is going to be in the middle. So we're going to want to go 2 above, so 2 and 1, or 2 below, sorry, and then 2 above, 4 and 5. So again, when it's in vertex form, and I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see the questions that are coming. When it's in vertex form, you use the points h and k to figure out what the vertex is. And it's the opposite of the h, so -3, so it turned positive. And it's the same value as the k. And now what we're going to do is just use our calculator the same way as we did previously in standard form. And I'll do the top two in the way for no matter what calculator you have. And then the bottom two, I'll do the shortcut with the graphing calculator if you have it on your phone or on your computer. So the equation is y equals, so parenthesis x is 1, -3 squared minus 4. So if I plug in a 1, I get 0. Okay, and I'll do it again with 2. So parenthesis, and I'm going to put a double parenthesis for 2, because that's what I'm plugging in, -3 squared minus 4. And I get -3. Now, if we think back to standard form, because this is the vertex, remember that means I should have symmetry. So these should be the same and these should be the same. So I'm hoping that when I plug in 4, I would get -3, and when I plug in 5, I would get 0, or something's wrong and this either isn't the vertex or I did my math wrong. So if I now use the other method, again, if you don't have this calculator, you would keep going. And I go to y equals, and I type this in, x -3 squared minus 4. And I go second table, and I find 3. Okay, 3 is -4. We have 2 is -3, so it's matching. And then look at 4 is -3, and 5 is 0. So I got the exact numbers that I want, and I'll see this reflection, this symmetry in my table, which tells me I did a great job. So now I'll plot all these points. So 1, 0 is here, right? Here's 0, 0, 1, and then I don't go up or down. 2 to the right, and I go down 3. 3 to the right, and I go down 4. 4 to the right, down 3. 5 to the right, down 0. Now there's definitely more points up here, but I can just make a little loop, my little parabola right here, and signify with arrows that it goes on. So now when I'm looking at the shape, well, there's no A. See how there's an A here? There's nothing, so that means it's positive. That means it's concave up. And if I look at my graph, it is concave up. So I can write concave up. Do I have a maximum or a minimum? Well, I have a low point. My graph opens up. It's a low point. I have a minimum. Zeros. Where is it crossing my x-axis? Well, it's crossing here, here, and here. So that's 1, 0, and that's 5, 0. Now, if I look in my table, they're here also where the y value is 0. So these also are here, but I can also look at the graph. Now, I didn't find the y-intercept. The y-intercept, remember, is whenever x is 0. So we didn't find that. So we could just go back and go into our calculator and either look at our table or just type in 0. So 0 minus 3 squared minus 4. So I just put in 0 for x because that's where the y-intercept is, and it'll tell me it's at 5. Which makes sense because this is going up and it's going to hit somewhere over here, right? So that kind of seems like it fits. Now, not all questions will ask you everything, so it just depends on that question on what you're being asked. So the key here is when it's in vertex form, you already get the vertex. So this is kind of what's new. You already get it. You do the opposite of h and you keep k. That goes in the middle of your table. And then you do the same thing we did before, and all of these words should be getting more and more common to you.